The candidates' road trips come as a major state poll shows the Senate race as a toss-up. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes made his arrival at the Delta Family Restaurant in Oshkosh Thursday morning.
We can get this done. It's a fight for freedom. It's a fight for fairness.
Later in the day, Senator Ron Johnson made his appearance in Shawano, outside the county's Republican Party office.
If they love this country, if they're concerned about its future, about 75% of Americans think we're on the wrong path, we're on a dangerously wrong path, ask them to join us.
Barnes was joined by Democratic U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin. She's hoping the Democrats can maintain the slim majority in the Senate.
I need a partner in Washington, D.C., joining me to fight for you every day. Now, that partner is Mandela Barnes. He will work to bring us together and not divide us further apart.
Johnson appeared with U.S. Representative Mike Gallagher. He's anticipating Republicans can take control of the House.
I'm here to tell you there's not going to be a red wave on Tuesday. There's going to be a red tsunami on Tuesday.
Barnes spoke to supporters about a number of topics, like abortion.
This is about protecting the access and the right to choose and abortion. And Ron Johnson's position has been too out of touch and extreme for the 70% of people in this state that think Roe versus Wade should be the law of the land.
While Johnson spoke to his crowd on issues he thinks are most important, like inflation and high gas prices.
I mean, these things didn't just happen. These were caused by Democrat policies, Democrat governance. And if you don't want the situation to get worse, don't elect Democrats to run the country.
The latest Marquette University Law School poll shows Johnson with a 2% lead on Barnes, at 50% to 48% among likely voters. The race tightened from the previous poll, which showed Johnson leading by 6 points at 52% to 46%.
You're 2 weeks away from Election Day, and already voters are making key decisions.
You have the time to vote today. If you have the time to vote before the election on November 8th, make sure you get out there.
The push to vote early includes Wisconsin's candidates for U.S. Senate.
It'll freeze our get out the vote process to again, nag other people a little bit better.
When people out there ask, why is it important for me to vote? Why is it important for me to get involved? Because elections are literally life-changing.
People were lined up early on the first day of voting as you decide 2022. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. Recent polling shows incumbent Republican Ron Johnson has the edge over Democratic challenger Mandela Barnes.
But the gap is much different depending on the poll you look at. We caught up with both candidates today to see how they're approaching the stretch run. Fox 11's Ben Krumholtz brings us balanced news coverage.
I was shocked.
Senator Ron Johnson told a group of dairy farmers in Greenleaf he's been more effective in his second term and plans to be even more so if he wins a third.
If we tell the truth about my opponent, it's pretty devastating. I mean, what his past beliefs are that he's, of course, denying right now, but you got to take a look at what he actually said. It's pretty unappealing.
Johnson accepted the endorsement of the Dairy Business Association while his challenger, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, participated in a roundtable with the Service Employees International Union in Milwaukee.
There's a lot of people out there who are turning their backs on working people, and I'm running against one of them.
Barnes also cast his vote, something Johnson intends to wait until Election Day to do.
I'm a traditionalist, but again, like I said, I'm a Norwegian from Wisconsin. I'll drive through a 3-foot-high drift.
However, Johnson is encouraging Republicans to vote early, not only so his campaign can use the next 2 weeks to push others to vote, but so those early voters can become poll observers.
Yeah, I welcome observers from the Democrat side, too. We need to observe the process so that at the end of election night, we can sit back and go, whatever the result, we're all going to have confidence in it.
It's one of the main reasons I decided to come out here to early vote, to make sure that people have trust and faith in the process. We're going to make sure all the ballots are counted, make sure that this is a safe and secure process. I trust the process.
Johnson held a 6-point edge among likely voters in the Marquette Law School poll conducted in early October. A more recent CNN poll had Barnes only trailing by 1 point, with 94% of likely voters saying their mind is for sure made up on who they will be voting for. Greenbay area Republicans gathered together at Badger State Brewing Wednesday night to hear Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin campaign for Tim Michels.
Republican governors have outperformed Democrat governors across the board coming out of this pandemic. Faster economic growth, better outcomes in schools, better safety outcomes in neighborhoods.
Youngkin is a businessman who won his position last year in a state President Joe Biden won handily. Michels is hoping to do something similar. He's in a tight race with Tony Evers, who spent his day at UW-Madison with Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren.
This election, the economy is on the ballot. Republicans want this economy to work better for millionaires and billionaires.
Bringing in big-name outsiders is at the very least designed to fire up supporters, but political scientists are skeptical whether it has much of an impact on a race's outcome.
Usually candidate visits don't have very sizable impacts, but certainly can mobilize people who maybe are on the edge thinking about voting.
Former President Barack Obama will be in Milwaukee on Saturday to campaign for Evers and U.S. Senate candidate Mandela Barnes. So far, two big names who haven't been announced for Wisconsin stops leading up to Election Day are President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. Any thought of President Trump coming to campaign for in the last 2 weeks with President Obama coming through?
I don't think it's on the schedule. I really haven't asked anybody to come in. This is a race between two people, two candidates. I think the choice is pretty clear.
Trump was here for Michels before his primary victory in August. However, Michels didn't mention Trump in his Badger State address.